Marry the house, date the interest rate, right? Yeah. Isn't that the saying?
So if you're married, you're dating? Don't do that.
Don't do
that. No. Hey everybody, today we're here in beautiful Jameson Square in the Pearl District of Portland. Love this area a lot, and we're going to talk about the current market for 2025 and how do you get started in purchasing a home. So we're with Julia Garriott with Lifetime Home Loans. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so thanks Tim for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Hello everyone, I'm Julia Garriott. I am your mortgage gal, as Tim said, with Lifetime Home Loans. I've been in the mortgage business for, almost 20 years now. I know that because I started when I was pregnant with my one and only son, Sebastian, in 2006. So I've been through the ups and downs of the markets. It's certainly different now to get a home loan than it was back then. So
quite a bit has changed in 20 years. Quite a bit has changed in the last 5 years.
Right.
And that's why we're here today, to just tell you what those changes are and how the process works to make sure that you can still get into a home safely, securely, and comfortably. Oh, and by the way, if you like this type of content and would like to hear more about lending, loans, or real estate, please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. So let's start off with talking about the differences in buying in 2020 versus 2025. Now, 2020, we had low inventory. Interest rates were not quite down to the 3.5%.
Yeah,
they were hovering right around 5 to 6.
Yeah.
But because of the low inventory that we'd had for years, we still had multiple offers. Mm-hmm. We still had bidding wars, which we rarely see today.
Yeah.
It's odd, but if something is priced right and dressed and ready to go, it is having multiple offers.
Right.
But a lot of the inventory, where we're at 66,000 right now, 6,600 homes on the market in the Portland metro area, have been sitting there with 50% of them with price reductions.
Right, and so that's good news for first-time buyers, right? That they should be thinking about, even though the interest rates are higher right now, they might have more opportunity in this market to be able to ask the seller for certain types of things, like, a credit towards the closing cost, a credit towards a temporary buy down to make the mortgage payment more affordable. Back when it was more competitive, they really didn't have that option because they couldn't ask the seller for anything at all.
You're always building equity in your home. So waiting to buy a house when the interest rates are low, you're losing all this equity that's being built. I mean, just in the last 2 years, the majority of our markets have raised at least 6 to 10%. So waiting doesn't make sense.
Right.
And you're gonna always refinance later on.
Right.
But waiting, you're losing that.
Yeah, marry the house, date the interest rate, right? Yeah. Isn't that the saying?
I've heard that somewhere before, yeah.
Because you can always refinance later. Find the house you love now, refinance later.
So I always wondered about that though, because I have heard that. So marry the house, date the interest.
Right, the interest rate.
So if you're married, you're dating? Don't do that.
Don't do that.
So another thing that I've found that I believe buyers in today's market are a little fearful of, and you can tell me if any buyer has asked you this.
Okay.
Because sometimes they go to the lender first before they go to the realtor. I believe especially today's market, because of the contract, the buyer's agency agreement that we have to have with a buyer before we can even show you a house. That's the law. We're just not allowed to do that. If you're meeting me for the first time and you want me to show you a house, I will limit that buyer's agency agreement to just the houses I'm showing you, and that's it. Because you don't know me yet. You may not like me. You may not like my green eyes. Well, a lot of people don't like green eyes, so but who knows? So if there's an agent out there wanting a contract longer than that, that's their business. We're all self-employed. We all have our own agreements. We all negotiate different ways. But if you're coming up to me as a first-time home buyer, you've never met me before, I don't care even if it's a referral from somebody else that I know, I'll make them comfortable and show them that this is only for a day. and it's only going to be for the houses that I show you today.
I think there's a lot of buyers out there that are just scared, and what I try to coach them on is they just need to come and talk to me because I am really no pressure, and I just want to share with them what they need to know and what they might qualify for now. And it may be, hey, you don't qualify right now, but here's the steps you need to take, and maybe you qualify in a year. Or I've had a lot of people go, oh my gosh, I didn't know I qualified. Let's go, right?
They don't. Yeah, they really don't because they're afraid. So it really is, don't be scared.
Yeah, don't be scared.
So even today, I find people are a little bit unsure of when to contact a lender or who to contact, even just to ask questions, because there's so many choices out there.
There is.
So can you tell us a little bit more about when somebody should contact a lender and who?
Yeah, so
Of course you, but in case they're in another state.
As soon as you start dreaming of home ownership is when you should contact a lender. Whoever you choose to work with, your bank, your credit union, your mortgage broker. As soon as you start getting curious about, could I possibly be a homeowner? That's when you should reach out to a lender, right? A lot of times I think that people go to the realtor first because they fall in love with the house first. And then the realtor, like Tim, will say, well, do you have your financing in place? So as soon as you start thinking about homeownership, you should talk to a lender. Now, you asked about the differences between
I don't think a lot of people know that.
So kind of what you said earlier, a bank or a credit union, they're going to have one kind of rate sheet that they look off of. And that rate sheet changes on a daily basis. So as a buyer, you have to know that when you look at somebody's rate sheet on this day, it could be completely different the next day. And it's not until you have an accepted offer on a house that you're actually locking in an interest rate. So you're just getting an idea of what the current rates are when you're getting pre-approved. Now, the difference between myself as a mortgage broker and a bank or a credit union is I have like 30 different lenders and 30 different rate sheets that I can look at on a daily basis to find what suits that client the best, right?
Well, thank you, Julia, for sitting with me today and getting some of these things that people have questions about out there. So if you didn't get your question answered, or if you want more detail on that, how would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can find me on my website. You can also follow me on social media at Julia, your mortgage gal, where you can DM me there. So thank you so much for having me, Tim. It's always a pleasure spending time with you.
It is. It is. Especially out here in this beautiful weather, beautiful park, not too hot, not too cold, and kids in the background.
So reach out to us if you have more questions.
Exactly.